Welcome in. Musso at the box. Presented by Gotlet Light Installers. Tigers win. Tigers win 2-0. They take the first game of the series from Oklahoma. There is a lot of good from that baseball game at LSU. Y'all smash the like button. Y'all get subscribed to the YouTube channel and your favorite podcast app. Just search Musso at the box. We're there, and take the show with you wherever you go. 2-0, LSU wins it. It's normal that sometimes after games we get on here and I'm like, there's so many places to begin. I don't really know where to begin. That is not the case tonight. There is but one place to begin, and that is with Kade Anderson. I mean, wow. Just, whoo! That was magnificent. And there's so many angles to attack that from where it started to where it ended, to the career high in strikeouts, to the 135 pitches on a cold night, to getting out of jam after jam, even after that first inning, him absolutely out-dueling a top 15 pick tonight on the road. There is so much to talk about with Kade Anderson, and we're going to do all of it, and we're going to start with that here momentarily. But I do really want to talk about the offense a little bit later on, because I thought they were awesome against Kyson Witherspoon. But Kade Anderson, okay, he goes out in the first inning, and he gets Jason Walk strikeout. Gets ahead of Easton Carmichael 0-2, gives up the single. And then Christensen comes up right behind him. First pitch he sees, singles through the shift, beats it to the left side, and then you have the walk. And it's like, oh no. And I can tell you exactly what I was thinking. A week ago against Mississippi State, he punched out the first hitter, was ahead on the next guy, gave up the single, and then the home run to Ace Reese. And I'm like, oh God, is this going to be a carbon copy? But it was anything but a carbon copy. Kade Anderson, after a mound visit from Nate Yeskie, finds not just the off-speed, finds the breaking ball, goes punch out, and then, y'all, he was off to the races after that. The 14 strikeouts are one thing, but it's when so many of them came that it is what's so impressive. Like, again, you look at the 135 pitches, and we'll get to that, but a lot of those were high leverage pitches, y'all. High level pitches. We mentioned the first inning with the bases loaded. You go strikeout. All right, well, you fast forward to the I gotta find it. Hold on. I think it was the fifth. To the fifth inning. No, it wasn't the fifth. Must have been the sixth. The sixth, and Christensen leads off with a double. So you're up 2-0 right now. Christensen leads off the sixth, with a double. What does Kade Anderson do? Strikeout. All swinging through the 4 and 5, 6 hitters in that lineup. And y'all, Willits had a hit that night. Like, he's a tough out. Kyle Branch is hitting a ton. That's what's so huge. I mean, 5 of those 14 came with runners in scoring position, right? You get to the 7th inning. You end that one with a strikeout. But in the, and not only that, in the 6th, it was Dickerson in that inning that had the foul ball home run on the first pitch he saw from Anderson. Absolutely launches one like, yo, that ball was tattooed to get through that win tonight, but it curls foul. And and then again, he punches that inning out. So it wasn't just the 14 Ks, it was when they came that were so impressive from Kade Anderson. Also, how he went about it. Credit Nate Yeskie a lot for the pitch sequence. Early in the game, it was a lot of curveball from Anderson. And then the further along you went in that game, you saw him really start to mix in the changeup and the slider. And not only that, elevate the fastball. He had everything working. We talked a week ago, he just wasn't sharp. He was sharp tonight, to say the least. I mean, that was absolutely magnificent. It was LSU's first complete game since Paul Skeen's since Paul Skeens went CG against the high school Tulane team in the regional in 2023. I'll still never understand why he pitched that baseball game. But anyway, and it was LSU's first complete game shutout since 2018. Just awesome from Kade Anderson. Now I want to get on the pitch count a little bit for him because, y'all, I thought after the 7th inning he was done. Like, I thought that was it. And I was all for them bringing him back out for that inning because my thought process is, hell, with some of the bullpen struggles you've had, you're trying to shorten the game, right? Get to Cowan, get to Evans, steal an inning wherever you can. They stole that in the 7th inning, and I'm like, okay, great. He's at 109 pitches. I think that's good. Like, you can kill him there. Nope, they bring him back out where he's facing the top of the order. The top of the order in that 8th inning for a 4th time, and he mows. Y'all, it was relatively low stress. He was behind walk 3-1, but gets him to ground out, back to him, as a matter of fact. It was a great play, threw a seed over to first base, and then ground out, strikeout. And it's like, okay, he just went through 1, 2, 3, dominant, but he's at 119 pitches. Probably going to be good. Probably going to be done. He comes out for the 9th and mows again. 135 pitches. That's insane. But it's how much stronger he got as the game goes on. And I'll also tell you why I'm okay with him going 135 pitches. So Kade Anderson has the long first inning. We know that. We kind of already went through it. After four innings, Kade Anderson was at 73 pitches, which isn't where you want to be. And he ends up at 135. Y'all, over the last 5 innings, he did all that on 62 pitches. He got stronger as the game went on, became wildly efficient, and was just all over the plate. Each quadrant of the plate, Kade Anderson attacked and owned at some point tonight. And the fact that he was able, after 73 pitches through 4, to get through the final 5 on 62, chef's kiss. That is absolutely beautiful. And some of y'all already nailed it in the chat. What I was going to say, why I'm okay with him going 135 pitches this week, he has an extra day of rest next week. LSU is back on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Kade Anderson will be going 8 days. Or maybe, 8 days on his next start. So he'll have plenty of time to recover from that. They knew what they were doing. They will take care of him in those 8 days and have him ready to go on the road at Auburn. And I think you can expect more of the same. Y'all, it feels like a lifetime ago that we were sitting here having conversations of how deep can Kade Anderson get you in a game. And, I remember some of you, after we lauded him for the 6 innings against North Alabama, we're like, it's North Alabama. Who cares? Let's see him do it in the SEC. But you could just see it. That's the thing. You could see it. It looked different that day. And it was like, man, that can be confidence for him. There were times, can Kade Anderson get you through a lineup 3 times? He damn near got you through it 4 times tonight. He did get through the top 3 of that lineup 4 times. And he was still throwing 92 in the 9th inning at 130 pitches. Y'all, he's him. Like, are you kidding? That is electric. And to do it on the stage he did it tonight with, I don't even know how many scouts, 40, 50, 60 in attendance, all to see him and Kyson Witherspoon. And Kyson Witherspoon is going to be, a top 15 pick come July. And Kade Anderson goes out there on the road against that guy, makes an absolute statement, and outduels him and leads his team to the win. And it wasn't even a close outduel. He stole the show in that ball game against another ace in the SEC. Case closed. Kade Anderson, that dude, he is one of the best pitchers in the Southeastern Conference. I didn't think it was possible for me to get on this show on this show after an Anderson start and be more fired up than I was for his outing at Texas, and yet here we are. he was freaking nails. In any situation tonight, Kade Anderson owned the freaking night. That was awesome. You could not have asked for a better bounce back. No one would have predicted that strong of a bounce back. I figured it was coming because he'd be back on normal rest and whatnot. But, wow. Complete game. CG, shut piece, career high, 14 Ks, 135 pitches. Freaking get some, Kade Anderson. Let him hang, young man. That was awesome. Awesome to watch. And LSU has seen some really, really good pitching performances over the course of the last few years. They really have. And, man, that one, I don't know if there's one better than that. It's the first complete game shutout for this program since 2018. Just awesome. And oh, by the way, he saved everybody, which is big for a couple of reasons. And then I promise we'll get into the offense. But that's big for a couple of reasons because the weather forecast sucks in Norman, Oklahoma. Everything about Norman, Oklahoma right now sucks. The stadium's small. The park plays big. The wind's blowing at like 20 miles an hour. It's freaking in the 50s. The high's going to be in the 40s on Saturday. There's going to be rain the rest of the weekend. Everything about that place sucks right now. And that's why it's so big. We'll have to wait and see what they announce for these games for Friday and Saturday if they want to play a doubleheader one of the days. But there's a chance you might only get one more game in this weekend. And LSU having everybody available in the bullpen, Cowan, Evans, Binge, Ware, Rizzi, all of them. All of them. Newt, all of them. That's huge for potentially dodging raindrops and maybe missing, having to burn a starter and only get him through a few innings because of a rain delay. Like, there's so many reasons what Kade Anderson did tonight is so freaking massive. And I couldn't be happier for that kid either because, man, when you went through what he went through in the SEC a year ago, to step up and do what he's done this season in conference, major tip of the hat. Player of the game. I might give Kade Anderson player of game 2 as well. I think that deserves it, right? I think he's worthy off of that performance alone. Just absolutely incredible. He's that guy. He's a bona fide ace, as if he didn't prove that against Texas. But to see him bounce back after that outing last week and do it that emphatically, he's him. So, just a major hat tip to Kade Anderson. Give that man all the bouquets. He deserves all of them. Y'all smash the like button. Please get subscribed if you haven't already. Podcast and on YouTube. I love the super chats coming in. Smash the like button. That is very, very much appreciated. We're going to get to the offense, but first, let me remind you about Gotlit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com. They provide the same type of service that Kade Anderson just provided for LSU baseball on a Thursday night. Permanent outdoor landscape lighting, backyard, front yard, patio, pool area, and/or front flower bed. Anything to illuminate your landscape, illuminate your home or your office building. Gotlit Light Installers, they have you covered. You got temporary outdoor lighting you need for a private event you're hosting, wedding reception, graduation parties. Those are coming up less than 2 months, y'all, from graduation. You're having a party, you need some temporary outdoor lighting, Gotlit Lights. It is all custom design, custom fit, cut to fit, gotlitlights.com. Follow them on Facebook as well. All right, offense. I thought LSU was really, really good. Really, really, really good offensively tonight. You're going to look at it and be like 2 runs, 6 hits. Okay. But I thought they handled Kyson Witherspoon exceptionally well. Yo, that's a really tough pitcher. That kid is gonna make multiple millions of dollars in July. The fastball's nasty. You saw him mixing that changeup a little bit. Oh, Matt McMahon just got a transfer. Max McKinnon from Portland. Anyway, you saw Kyson Witherspoon. Fastball instead as advertised. He mixed in that breaking ball, maybe a little bit of a cutter as well, and the changeup tonight. He's really good. And LSU saw him great. And this is what I mean by that. Because, again, I think you can look at it, and we can look at his line, right? And you see him get into the 7th inning, 6 complete, and he scattered 6 hits. But LSU made the most of those 6 hits off of Witherspoon. And this is why I say they saw him so well. For one, they only struck out 4 times. That's a guy who was second in the SEC in strikeouts and top 5 in the nation in strikeouts, and you only punched 4 times against him. So clearly you were picking the ball up. The other reason I say that is where the hits went. So 4 out of those 6 hits went to the opposite field. Curiel's double went to the opposite field. Jared Jones's double went to the opposite field. Hernandez's first double went to the opposite field. And Stanfield's double went to the opposite field. Only 1 ball was pulled against Witherspoon, and it was Hernandez's second double. Even Ethan Fry's hit, which I loved seeing Ethan Fry get a hit off of Witherspoon. We'll come back to that. But even Ethan Fry's knock went up the middle. So he stayed back, stayed through it, and hit it. And that's the thing. Y'all, the conditions they were playing in on Thursday night were very similar to what they had to play in against Omaha earlier this year. And LSU hit the ball in the air far too much in that ball game. You could see the adjustment, and against much better pitching. They stayed back, they let the ball travel, and they used the entire field, especially with 2 strikes. They were really kind of in like 2-strike mode, it felt like, all night. And that's how you only punch out 4 times against a pitcher of that quality. That's how you drive. That's how, 5 of your 6 hits go up the middle or to the opposite field. And you drive in runs in those spots. Why I was like, you know what? It's a big park, and LSU, you can look at that and be like, oh man, they lean on the home run. This team doesn't. They're so versatile offensively. And it's one of the reasons I liked them in this series. Like, it was a hard pick for me this weekend. But ultimately, that's why I went. So I'm like, okay, Oklahoma can play to that part for sure with their small ball and their stealing and all of that. But so can LSU. So can LSU. And you saw that tonight. In the 5th inning. And that was such a big spot, too. Because I tweeted this, too. That was when Anderson was at 73 pitches after 4. He was about to flip the lineup for a 3rd time. It was a 1-0 game. That was a massive spot for LSU to get a run, because any cushion to give him before he flips the lineup, right, for a 3rd time is huge. And that's when you had the leadoff double from Hernandez. X factor, by the way. We talked about him. I'm going to come back to it. Leadoff double from Hernandez. Reeves gets the bunt down. Stanfield with 2 strikes. Serves it down the right field line for the double. Beautiful baseball. Beautiful manufacturing of runs. I couldn't have been more impressed with how LSU handled Kyson Witherspoon. I thought they were awesome against him. Now, James Hitt kind of beat you up a little bit there. That sucked. 3 shutout. Didn't walk anybody. He punched out 4. The first 4 hitters. Well, I'm sorry. He faced Braswell. Braswell bunted. After that, the next 4 out of the first 5 that he faced, he punched out, and 3 of them were looking. I mean, he had LSU really off balance. He used his fastball great, especially inside. That glove side fastball from a lefty. I mean, he really was able to locate that pitch, and he was awesome. But now you've gotten a look at him, and your best hitters have gotten a look at him. That is a guy they will bring back another time this weekend. All right, offensive standouts. We'll start with Luis Hernandez. Y'all, we did a whole damn half a show on him earlier this week. He is your X factor in the bottom of that lineup. That's a guy who is extremely veteran at the plate, who has an understanding of what LSU wants to do. He's coming up with big hit after big hit for you in conference play, after he got off to a slow start. And the slow start started in the preseason scrimmages, and then it continued into the regular season. But once the calendar is flipped to SEC play, he has been awesome. Those 2 doubles tonight to lead off the inning were huge. One resulted in a run, and the second one could have if Stanfield didn't miss the bunt sign. which that was a hideous at bat. But you live with it because he had the double earlier in the game. But Hernandez put you in scoring position twice in a tight game against an ace. And that was awesome to see. Just awesome. He's up to 295 now. He's got to be nearing 300 in the SEC. He came in, I think, at 286 into this weekend, so he might be at 300 in the conference right now. And he's in your 7-hole. It's just the length in that lineup. Y'all, I mean, you basically, when you have Reeves in there, you run 9 300 hitters out there. It's absurd. To have Hernandez in the 7-hole, a guy like Reeves who's hitting 364 in the 8, and then Chris Stanfield, a second leadoff guy who's at 310. Find me a better 7 through 9 in the country. Please, find it for me. If it exists, like I'm asking, I'm actually, this is real. If you can find it, let me know who it is. Because that's ridiculous, and it starts with Luis Hernandez. What a pickup. Would it translate? Not going to translate to 360 and 23 homers. But what it has translated to is clutch hits, an X factor at the bottom of your lineup, and a solid glove behind the plate. Not great, not elite, solid. So, more hat tips for Luis Hernandez. Awesome, dude. He was just awesome. Ethan Fry, I loved that single from him in his third appearance facing Kyson Witherspoon, and here's why. That's the best pitcher Ethan Fry has seen all year, and it was a righty. And y'all, I mean, that's what we've been talking about with Fry, is that like that's where it looks like he's been able to take the next step. The development he's had against right-handed pitching, and you don't get any other, you don't get a bigger test than that so far this year than a top 15 pitcher who's going to, a pitcher who's going to go into in the top 15 in July and is a right-hander. And to see him face him twice, put the ball in play every time, but to see him face him twice and make the adjustment, get ahead in the count 3-1, have the discipline and the maturity to stay back on it and drive it up the middle, that's why he's in the lineup every day right now, and that's why he should be in the lineup every day. I don't know how many more times we have to see it. I was set on it, before this weekend. Now I really am. Because that's a hell of an arm he just did that off of. And from the right side. Just awesome. I mean, awesome. From Ethan Fry. So, loved Curiel making an adjustment, getting a knock against Witherspoon. That's awesome. Jared Jones, same deal. Both those guys did have their issues striking out tonight, but I mean, that was great too. So, I mean, you had a hit from every third of your lineup. You had 2 at the top 3, you had 1 in the middle 3, and you had 3 in the bottom 3. I'll do that. That's how you beat Kyson Witherspoon, right there. You need a lineup like that. I thought LSU was fantastic offensively. I thought they were great, really all night. They didn't commit an error on a slick turf field. They didn't commit an error, which is awesome. It's a great fielding team that LSU has. It's a hell of a win. Hell of a win to start the series. You have everybody available except for Kade Anderson to try and go in one of the next 2. You are in great position. Like, if you do not win this series, that's a problem at this point. Baseball is a funny game. Many, many things can happen, but that's a big problem. All right, y'all, let's take some questions here real quick. Smash the like button, please, if you have not already, and get subscribed up to the show. Jed Robin, do you think Jay will throw Cowan and Evans tomorrow if needed to lock down the series? I do. It's just going to depend on the scenario in the game. But yeah, if you need to, yeah. But I mean, if you can turn it over to one of them, they can get you 3 innings, then no. Like, I mean, it's just going to be on a need-to-know basis. So, not a need-to-know, but you get what I mean. Jeffrey, if and only if you don't use him tomorrow, Cowan start Sunday. No. Chase Shores has already been announced as a starter. Chase Shores is coming off of a really nice outing where he got knocked around in the face. Chase Shores is your third starter. That's no. You're not moving Zach Cowan and Kason Evans right now until someone else or a couple more arms emerge in your bullpen. They are staying put. I cannot say that any more clearly. Leon, I'll come back to that real quick. There was one that I wanted to get to, and now I can't find it. We'll go with Leon Torres, who's pitching Saturday for Oklahoma. We don't know yet. They announced that TBH. The interesting thing is that has been Malachi Witherspoon the last 2 weeks, but he's also been in the rotation up to this point. He's made 7 appearances, 7 starts. But he got roughed up at Bama a week ago. Gavin Jones is a potential option for them. We had Eddie Radosevich on After Further Review earlier today, and Rado covers Oklahoma sports closer than just about anybody. That's the name he threw out, so look for that. The only other real option I would throw out to you is Cam Johnson. He's got 7 starts this year and started the season in the rotation, but he only threw 24 pitches on Tuesday. That's because he got roughed up. I don't think if they need to salvage a game, that's where they're going, or if they need to win a series, that's where they're going. So I'll go with Rado, Eddie Radosevich's deal with Gavin Jones. Mid-pack, how do you feel about Milam in the 4-hole? I like it. And here's why. And we've talked about this a little bit here lately. The thing I like about Milam in the 4-hole this year as opposed to last year, he's much more physical in the box this year. You're seeing a lot more pop in the bat. And also, coming into this weekend, he's leading your team in RBI in conference play. So I like it. And I prefer Ethan Fry there, but against the righty, Jay's going to want to break up 3 righties in his lineup, and that's probably why you see Milam there. But I don't hate it. I'm much more comfortable with it this year than I would have been a season ago. I saw one that I wanted to. W Sauce, who would you have gone to in the 8th or 9th? Zach Cowan. Cowan was warming up in the bullpen, and that's been their Friday night guy out of the pen, y'all. I mean, it hasn't mattered the situation. That's who they've gone to. I mean, they were up 12-5 against Missouri, and they brought Zach Cowan in to close out an inning in the 3rd. We know what happened against Texas, up 6 runs. You got him to go 6 a week ago. It's going to be Cowan on Thursday on game 1s, and it makes a lot of sense. He's such a different look than Anderson. He is such a different look than Anderson. But he'll, from the right side, throwing that changeup, it's just a very different look. So that's where you go. Brett, any chance we play 2 games tomorrow? Weather looks bad most of Saturday. Yeah, it does. I don't know. The weather looks bad the first half of tomorrow. There could be some late baseball in our future again this weekend for LSU, y'all. I mean, there just could be. They're going to try their best to get all 3 in. We'll see what they do. But, I mean, it's the forecast in Norman this weekend, minus the stupid cold, is very reminiscent of the forecast in Baton Rouge a week ago. So, we'll just we'll have to wait and see there. Y'all got anything else? Mo, what is your question? Let me go back and find it. Hold on. He says, like the new handle. Sure, I like the new handle, Mo Boudreaux. And honestly, was that the shortest SEC baseball game you've ever seen? I've probably seen others. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of one. But, I mean, you get a couple Friday Night Aces on there, man. And, you can get some 2-hour, 2.5-hour games. All right, let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. Leon asks a great question. Who comes in if Ianson gets out early in the game? Depends on what the score is, depends on what the situation is, right? I mean, if Ianson is knocked out because of a rain delay and you are in a tight game, you're probably going to see Zach Callender or Evans, the guys who have proven that they can extend. Jaden Newt has thrown 3-4 innings for you at times this year. So, I mean, there's plenty that you can go to there. One of those guys, though. Hold on, David. Let me see if I can go back and find your question. Sorry. He asked, David Knockan, can OU reuse their bullpen guy tomorrow, or do they have to wait till Saturday? They don't have to wait. They can definitely use him tomorrow. How many pitches did he throw? He only threw 26 pitches tonight. He can pitch tomorrow. But you're definitely going to see him again this weekend. He pitched twice last weekend against Alabama. The guys you will absolutely probably see twice, or the most likely guys to see twice in a weekend are James Hitt, who pitched tonight, Jason Bowden, and, of course, the closer, Dylan Crooks. Tommy White, stop it. I am not touching that question ever. That is absolutely insane work by you, sir. Cody Stafford, it sure did look like Stanfield missed the bunt call. Yes. Wade says he wants to see more out of Dickinson. Thoughts? I mean, Wade, what are you talking about? What more do you want to see out of him? He's hitting 353. He's like second on your team in RBI, and he's come through multiple times when Jones has been put on in front of him. I think Danny Dickinson has been fantastic. Come on, man. Cloud Zach, you think LSU has the matchup advantage tomorrow? I do. I like Cade Crossan on the mound a lot for Oklahoma. It's a good left-handed arm. He can run it up to 96. He'll probably sit more 93, 94. The changeup is elite. It's going to be changeup to righties and slider to lefties. He was really good a week ago against Alabama. He's pitched better than his numbers indicate on the year. I really like the stuff. I really, really like the stuff from Crossland, but given the full complement LSU has in their bullpen, given the outing we saw from Ianson, I like it. And yes, Cloud's like, I do. I think Ianson's a good matchup. Ianson throws a lot of strikes, and if he's mixing the way he was early in the season and a week ago, he's a good matchup against any lineup in the country. The stuff's that good. But, whew. All right, guys. That, I think, is going to do it for tonight. Y'all smash the like button on your way out. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is our largest audience concurrent throughout the season. Not surprised after that game. But appreciate everybody tuning in. And we'll do it again after the game on Friday night, hopefully after another LSU win. It's Musso with the Box, presented by Gauntlet Light Installers. Be here next time for more.